What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 1. Top DFS picks. Week 2.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for this week's NFL slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, here are my top DFS picks for NFL Week 2. Let's take a look at the quarterback position. My top DFS pick at the quarterback position is Russell Wilson from the Seattle Seahawks playing the Tennessee Titans, who have the second worst defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Russell Wilson scored 27 fantasy points in Week 1. He got 5 rush attempts. He's projected at 22.2 fantasy points here in Week 2. He's 7,500 DraftKings salary and 1,000 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 53 points scored in this game, with the Seahawks favored by 5.5. So this is a fantastic matchup. Vegas thinks this is going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be a fast-paced game, and Russell Wilson has phenomenal wide receivers in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. So I like Russell Wilson here versus the Tennessee Titans. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. My top DFS pick at the running back position is Joe Mixon from the Cincinnati Bengals playing the Chicago Bears, who have the 5th worst defense overall, and they're middle of the pack defending opposing running backs. Joe Mixon scored 28 fantasy points off of 29 rush attempts and 4 pass targets in Week 1. He was on the field for 78% of the snaps. He's projected at 16.8 fantasy points here in Week 2. He's 7,000 DraftKings salary and 800 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 45.5 points scored in this game, and they have the Bengals trailing by 2.5. So you gotta love the volume in Week 1 from Joe Mixon. Almost 30 rush attempts. It's a pretty decent matchup here in what should be a close, competitive game. So I like Joe Mixon here versus the Chicago Bears. Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL. NBA is right around the corner. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. My top DFS pick at the wide receiver position is Keenan Allen from the LA Chargers playing the Dallas Cowboys, who have the 8th worst defense overall, and they give up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Keenan Allen scored 22 fantasy points off of 13 pass targets in Week 1. He was on the field for 83% of the snaps, touched the ball 19% of the time. He's projected at 16.5 fantasy points here in Week 2. He's 7,000 DraftKings salary and 400 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 54.5 points scored in this game, with the Chargers favored by 2.5. So you got a fantastic matchup, a high-scoring game, a ton of pass targets. So I like Keenan Allen here versus the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. My top DFS pick at the tight end position is Noah Fant from the Denver Broncos playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have the third worst defense overall, and they give up the 11th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Noah Fant, he scored 12 fantasy points off of 8 pass targets in week 1, and he was on the field for 77% of the snaps, touched the ball 16% of the time. He's projected at 10.9 fantasy points here in week 2, and he's only $4,200 DraftKings salary and $1,500 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 45 points scored in this game, with the Denver Broncos favored by 6. So you got a pretty good matchup here. And outside of Darren Waller, Noah Fant got the second most pass targets at the tight end position. So you know he's going to be involved in this offense. And I think his salary is pretty low on both sites. So I like Noah Fant here versus the Jacksonville Jaguars.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.